like a vine-like shrub as it grows up trees or walls or things like that, rather than being just like this bushy base. But because it's thick, it's very thick and it's difficult to move through. After you get a ways in, you lost sight of kind of everything. You see an opening behind you, where you came from, but everything in here is very dark. Have you ever, shrubs near the house, and you've ever gone and played as a kid? You duck in behind the shrubs near the house. Mm-hmm. You know how it's just super dark. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what happens. You have a light source behind you, and that's really it. Everything else is very dark in front of you.
Okay. I'll continue moving forward.
Okay? You continue moving forward.
But is there a way to like move forward more carefully so these vines, or are they just too... Oh! Can I use my claw attacks to like fucking blow some of these bitches down?
You can try.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. So yeah,
no, it doesn't hurt.
I'll swipe them with my claws. What is that under?
Give me an athletics check.
Oh wait, hold on. What is this?
I put the claws under your inventory, which is where the weapons are.
Okay.
But you're not.
What does bark skin do?
Bark skin makes gives you armor. It gives you natural armor. Like it makes your skin kind of like tough like bark.
Oh, is that just why I have a 19 AC?
No,
that's
18,
your turtle
17
shell.
AC.
You have a turtle shell, so your AC is naturally high.
Is there a way to? I don't see where a spell would be bark skin.
If you have bark skin as your current spell list or you memorize spells, you can cast it. It would be under spells.
Gotcha.
Now, bark skin is not a useful spell for you just because you're...
Shut up, little fairy!
Okay, I was just checking. I just read about what it did. Okay, where is...
Hiding in the shell.
Yeah, right.
It's no longer ghost in the shell, it's fairy in the shell.
Hey, you have room in your shelf for me? I'm this big. Just sit on your head.
No,
to
you
attack with this. I don't see it.
No, so you're not attacking with your claws. You're going to use an athletic check.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not. So there's not a thing to attack. So you're not going to use an attack roll. You're just going to use straight athletics. You try and use your claws. This is not something you've tried before. You're like, hey, maybe this would be a good idea.
It wasn't.
And you don't quite. It doesn't quite work. You get a little ways. It does help a little bit, but it's still a lot of pokies.
Pokey.
Well, I'll continue moving forward as best I can.
Yep. I mean, you're already trying to be, already super careful. And that's kind of a given with how thick everything is. Are you going to try mending, Lewis?
I was just trying to read what that spell does, and it kept on putting it in the chat.
Oh, yeah, that happens if you click it.
I don't think that spell would work on the door.
In theory, yes.
Flicker.
If like this was a wagon or something, and you had kind of the hole, it would work. However, because this is natural rot damage, your mending's not going to do anything. Mending is for like, if you the buckles on or the leather on your cuirass, if those kind of break or snap apart, you can mend them back together, which puts the fibers all back in line and then solidifies it, so it makes it whole. Because this is all in order to mend, you need to have the pieces of it. So like if you had a broken sword and it shattered, if you could collect all of the pieces back together, then mending would work. However, chances of you getting all those pieces back together is very rare, in which case mending won't work.
Okay.
Hey, Flicker.
Yes.
Do you want to continue moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I mean, he's right on top of me, so.
That's fine.
I'm going where you going, bro.
Lewis and Morian, what are you doing?
V5 full thumb.
So, you let me make an investigation check to try and get a mental picture,
Yes.
and I think I made that check.
I think you did. Yes, you did. Okay. So yeah.
How does he know?
So you are you kind of take a step back and you're kind of seeing where the pieces are and how they were, and there's definitely a lot of pieces missing, of course, but you're getting the sense that this was some fairly large construction or some sort. Definitely with the way that the first kind of bent, back into place, with that elasticity as it popped back in, which is very minor, and you only managed to get it just because you were looking so close. But because of that, you're getting kind of the sense that this seems larger than a barrel would be. Definitely not a door, but maybe could have been a wall of some sort.
So, my thoughts are, since I've been thinking about this, it seems like it's some sort of. It doesn't seem like this would be a wood building. I'm pretty sure it's not a building, so it would be some sort of wooden vehicle. I was thinking like a siege tower, maybe, but I don't think. Did you say that the metal strips run the long ways, or run along the 30-foot dimension, or the 20-foot dimension?
They run, so the boards run in the bottom to top. So if the bottom is on the ground and the top is in the air, when you have it lifted up, the boards that are 30 feet long, they run from bottom to top. And the bands of metal run perpendicular to that, so from left to right. Everybody's on this page. Here, I'll show you. I'll draw it. I'll make a drawing. So, big. How do I do this? Here we go. Draw a freehand. Nice. So board. So this is what the sense that you get. Kind of like this. And the metal bands are kind of like. Are kind of like that.
Okay.
And there's a slight. I can't draw over there. There's a slight kind of like very subtle curve to it that kind of looks like.
Sorry, is this on the Twitch stream?
No, this is on the
No,
map.
it's on Foundry.
On Foundry.
Oh, okay. You have to go out of the
Oh,
black
I see
zone.
now. Okay.
Oh, can
I
you
see.
not? Do you have to move out of the to see it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I think that's here. I'll configure the scene.
Ah, I forgot that there was that.
There. I think everybody should be able to see the entire scene.
Yeah.
I see.
Yes. Okay. Good call. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a really big wagon. There are any rumors about giants living in this?
Lewis, what is your background?
What?
What is your background? Like, what did you do as a child?
Oh, my character?
Yes, your character.
I grew up in kind of like a wealthy household that was pretty devoted to the religious scene in town.
Okay.
So after my character had like their falling out with the whole religious culture, I was disowned.
Okay.
So that's why I joined up in the Adventurers Guild, because I was like, what else can I do?
Okay. With that, go ahead and roll me history.
Ooh, I am proficient in history.
Hmm? Yeah.
Ah.
All right.
Ah!
This almost looks like something that you've never expected to see, especially out here in the woods. Like, you've seen much smaller versions of it, but it kind of looks like the side of a boat. Of course, this is much larger than you have ever seen. You've only ever been like on a dinghy or, a small little raft or whatnot, which is why it definitely wasn't your first thought, but it kind of looks like a boat.
I wonder if it's the one that fell on me.
Nilka and Flicker.
Yeah.
Are you guys peering into the bushes as you're working your way through? Flicker,
Yeah,
what
I'm
are
not
you
just blindly.
Well, yeah, I meant more Flicker. Flicker, what are you helping look in that direction, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm perched on a shell. I'm just looking right where he's looking.
Okay, I want you both to roll me a 1d20.
Hmm.
All right. There's a kind of a darker shape in front of you. However, you do get the feeling that you've lost some light behind you.
I'm gonna turn my head and look behind us.
Can you make light as a fairy?
It's fairly dark all the way around. Your beginning entrance, you no longer see.
Okay.
So now you're just in. Yeah. Well, you can see you can see the vines, and there's still some very faint light. It's like a kind of dim light in where you're at. But before, there was that obvious, like, as you worked your way through, kind of like pushing vines aside, you kind of made like a small little path for yourself. And there was definitely the light from, out in the clearing where you were, quote unquote clearing, but out in that area that you were before you went into the bushes, that you could still see out in, and there was still light kind of silhouetting that little path that you made. But now that light's gone.
Mm.
However, Flicker, you did kind of see in a patch to kind of your in front of where you guys are kind of working your way, in front and to the right, there is definitely a darker patch of the darkness. When you're walking out in dark, when it's like total dark out, and there's a building in front of you, you can see kind of where that building is at because it's a darker patch if you're really paying attention to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire over there.
Okay.
Flicker.
Yeah.
Go ahead
What do you
and
see?
go ahead and link that spell.
And I'm getting a little nervous, so I'm going to keep one familiar hovering about 15 feet above their head, but another one is going to go and stay with them.
All right, so you cast Fairy Fire, and the whole area just kind of lights up as all of the vines, because this is what you're pushing through is like a viney kind of shrub that's working through.
Right.
All of the individual vines light up with this glow. It kind of looks
Did
like
it move at all?
Well, I'm gonna cast it over in like that darkness.
yeah, it's
Not on us. Yeah. Okay.
You're casting it in that area, but
Right.
you guys see just a whole bunch of vines as light up. It's kind of like, if you take a bunch of LED strips and you hang them from the ceiling, that's kind of what's going on with this outline of a bunch of different vines as they kind of hang down and around.
Stop eating these shrooms that grow on my shelf.
At the same time, you guys see something. Do you guys ever, visit the fishing areas?
I do frequently.
That's
one of my guys this past time.
Okay. So, go ahead and roll me history for both of you.
Okay.
I'll say just a standard. Did you say that was something you've been out doing, Flicker?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Flicker, you're not entirely sure what you're seeing. It's definitely something strange, like possibly like a big wagon kind of thing. Nolka, this almost looks like a big boat, but you've never seen a boat that this is this size at all. This is something that easily towers over your head, and it's just kind of like a section of a big kind of boat piece as it pushes back into the area and past the fairy fire. And what the fairy fire is doing is all the vines around are lit up with this outer glow, as well as kind of along the surface of this big wooden piece that looks very similar to the pieces outside that you'd flipped over, but it all seems to be intact for the most part. It's still fairly rusted. It looks still rotted. It still looks fairly rotted for the most part, but it's intact, and it looks to be kind of the side. And you've only seen like small little boats, like I said before, like little rowboats or whatnot like that. And this is just beefed up version. You're not seeing like the inside or anything. You're just looking at kind of a wall.
Dialogue. Flicker.
Yes.
That's a big ass boat.
What? And you said that
Boat.
Cody
Sure.
said I didn't quite see it, right?
Yeah, you're not sure what this is. It looks
Okay, so I see it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a wagon without the wheels, but like kind of like a wagon on the side. But it also just like that doesn't seem right either. It's like the closest thing that you can think of is a wagon.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Morian and Morians.
Hey.
What?
We have dialogue happening here.
Well, you can type dialogue in the window as I describe what's going on.
Shut down.
Ouch.
I'm just throwing, and you guys can chat your dialogue if you like. Morians, the butterflies just told you as they are now fluttering around frantically in kind of the area above the shrubs, and you get this hint that your team, the two that went into the shrubs, there's no notice of their passing. There's no light, nothing like that, and they're not sure where they're at.
Right. Luz, we should go and check on the others. Something may have happened to them.
All right, Nolka and Flicker, go ahead with your dialogue.
Oh, fuck you. No.
Yeah, no, we're good.
You just randomly say that.
I will move on.
Oh, shit.
You want petty? I'll show you petty.
Bring it, bitch.
As I stroke the side of your head. Get it,
Ew.
petty?
What's touching me?
Kind of surprised nothing has tried to kill us yet.
Well, knock on wood.
Oh, there's a boat in front of me, thank God.
Yeah, right.
I proceed to knock on the wooden side of the boat.
And you don't know why.
All right, I guess they're not dialoguing. Louis and Ronan, what are you guys doing?
Going to the... Well, I at least am going to the thickets where my familiar lost contact with half of the team. making sure to leave one familiar with Louis. And I'm going to see if I can retrace the exact... I mean, it's been like 30 seconds. I want to see if I can literally just like footprint for footprint follow where these two went.
You cannot. The butterflies show you exactly where they entered, and there's no sign of their passing.
This is what I was trying to avoid, but I was not specific enough. Okay, I'm gonna consider my options. I don't know if I have anything that can help. I'm darn well gonna try. Alright, so having two of my one familiar is staying with Louis, the other two are spreading out and searching.
Okay.
This still lasts for an hour, by the way, so let me know when the duration's up.
Yeah. It's only been like 30 minutes.
Flicker.
Okay.
Flicker.
Yes.
Is Fairy Fire like a cantrip thing that you can just do over and over?
Yes.
You want to shoot that up
Fairy
in the
Fire
air
is a
a little?
first level spell.
I think it's cantrip for them.
Yeah, it's a cantrip for me.
Okay, can you launch it kind of high up in the air just in case other people are trying to find us? Maybe it'll give a sign, like a beacon or a flare.
I think that's possible. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I guess I'll go, I don't know, 20, 30 feet above. Actually, so if I'm looking at this, what now I assume to be a boat, a ship.
Yeah, so...
What am I seeing here?
Because like we've moved forward like through like the rest of the brush to where the structure or boat is directly in front of us now.
Like what exactly do I see? Do I see a mast? Do I see?
Okay, so the way fairy magic works is the Druidcraft cantrip. Starting at 3rd level, you can cast Fairy Fire spell with this trait, so it is not a cantrip for you. I don't know why.
It is.
I don't know why it says cantrip there.
Because I was able to select it as a cantrip.
That it shouldn't be a cantrip. It's still a 1st level spell.
However, I guarantee you that it's a cantrip for me. Because I specifically went over all of my cantrips, and it was in something. I don't quite remember which thing it was.
You might have been thinking of... It should not be a cantrip. It is definitely a 1st level spell.
No, it's a 1st level spell.
I understand that it's actually a 1st level spell, but for me, it was a cantrip.
No, so it's not that it's a so it's a 1st level spell. It's just one that you can cast once per long rest without expending a spell slot. So it can be used like a cantrip, however, it can't be cast over and over and over again.
You cast it innately. It's not a cantrip.
Yes. So starting at 3rd level, you can cast the Fairy Fire spell with this trait, which is the trait Fairy Magic. Starting at 5th level, you can also cast the Enlarge Reduce spell with this trait. Once you cast Fairy Fire or Enlarge/Reduce with this trait, you can't cast that spell again. You can't cast that spell with it again until you finish a long rest. You can also cast. You can also cast either of those spells using any spell slots you have of the appropriate level. Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma is your spellcasting ability for these spells when you cast them with this trait. So basically what that's saying is you get one free cast of Fairy Fire or Enlarge/Reduce. However, after you're done with that, you can still use spell slots in order to cast those as well. And it may be that the way that Foundry has it coded is that it's coded as a cantrip, and I don't know why that is. It should not be coded as a cantrip.
You imported it as a cantrip here. I can probably fix it.
Please don't mess with it. I'm just editing it itself.
On this episode of The More You Know.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Now that I think I turned myself off mute. Yeah, I guess I'm at the entrance to the thickets with Morins. I say it different every time. And I'll cast light and like touch the thickets where they entered, so we kind of have a marker of where we are entering. So if we do go forward, we can hopefully see it back. I guess it's a cantrip, so I don't think the thicket has a saving. Wait, I need a firefly to do it?
So yes. So normally yes. However, do you have a spellcasting focus?
I'm a cleric.
So the spellcasting focus can be kind of anything
You should.
want.
It's in your starting equipment.
Starting equipment. I don't see
Yes,
anything.
you have a holy symbol which counts as your cantrip. So the holy symbol can be whatever you want it to like be.
Okay.
So maybe it's like a gavel or something like that, or just a necklace that hangs around your neck, like like a neck of Christ. That would be a holy symbol. So whatever is like in relation to your quote unquote religion / non-religion, whatever that is represented by is what your holy symbol is.
And that can fulfill the role of the firefly or phosphorescent.
Yeah.
Frost.
So the way that when it comes to spellcasting, the way that it works is there's several different ways to do it. If you're a wizard, you have the option of having a spellcasting focus, like a staff or something like that, or you can get a what's called a component pouch, which is basically a pouch that you keep components, and it's quote unquote expected that you keep it full, but it's just like the various components. So like in this case, you would have a firefly. You'd pull out a firefly from that, or some phosphorus moss, and then just keep in the component pouch. The spellcasting focus will replace any necessary required materials and overwrite them, so you don't need to use them. You're casting through your focus. However, if the spell requires something that has a cost to it, such as a revive spell, it requires a diamond worth at least 100 gold pieces. Because it has a specific cost to that spell, then that is a required component. You cannot use a component pouch, nor can you use a arcane focus in order to cast that spell. So you would have to have a diamond worth at least 100 gold pieces in order to cast it. So any required material that has a specific cost, will not be able to be overwritten with a arcane focus, a casting focus or component pouch. Anything that is just straight up, like it says, like requires this, is not. If it says a pinch of something, then that is still, it's not a amount, because a pinch is not a specified amount. Does that make sense? Okay.
So far, so good. So I guess if we're going back to the mending spell that I kept on through the chat, it says required materials 2 lodestones. Those would be covered by that
Yes.
arcane focus.
Yes. Because there's not a specific cost related behind it.
Okay.
Let's see, D&D 5e chromatic orb. If this is the one that I think about all the time. So on the chromatic orb, it says components: verbal, semantic, and material. And material says a diamond worth at least 50 GP. So if you wanted to cast that spell, you would need to use a diamond worth at least 50 GP.
Okay, so like the borrowed knowledge.
Yes.
I need a book worth 20. Okay. So it will specify that I need some money. Okay. So then I will cast light using my wooden spoon, which is my holy symbol.
Okay. Nice. I love it. All right, so you cast light. Where are you casting light at? You just the spot?
Yeah, just the spot, like where we're entering. So, like, I don't know, I can touch the shrub branch or something.
Okay. Morians, what are you doing?
I'm continuing to try and figure out some way to find these other these wayward party members. I looked through all my abilities and I don't really have anything further I can try and do to find them, and that is my only priority right now, is reuniting the party.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on my 3 familiars or 2 familiars who are out searching.
How long is Fairy Fire? 60 feet, 1 action, 1 minute. Okay. So, Nilka Flicker, what are you doing?
Walking around the boat thing.
Okay. Well, I mean,
looking for an entrance.
You're still having to dig your way, so it's still slow going as you're making your way through the vines and everything. By the way, you do take another point of damage, just because of all the pokies. You can go ahead and make another survival check, though, if you'd like, for both of you. All right. So Nilka, you have managed to get your claws. You're getting used to this as you're working your way through, and you're managing to get most of the vines out of your face. And you kind of get, as you push your way through, to kind of an open spot next to this big wall. It's definitely still dark. The fairy fire is still going on, and you can definitely see kind of the outline, fairly solid. You're not seeing any doorways or any entrances along where you're at right now, but you are right next to the boat.
Gotcha. I'm also looking to see if there's like any ladders that would allow us to climb up the side.
Yeah, there's no ladders.
Okay.
The only way to climb up the sides is you could probably attempt to try and climb the vines, but that would be hard, just because of all the pokies on those vines.
Gotcha.
Flicker, you have managed to tuck yourself in such a manner that you're getting protected mostly by the shell, and especially since Nilka is so easy going. Between the combined efforts of you two, neither of you are having a much of a difficult time.
That's fucking teamwork.
Do you do anything more, Flicker?
Open.
Okay. Yeah, so neither of you really see anything. Morians and Louis, go ahead and roll me perception.
Okay.
I want it at disadvantage.
Okay.
Perception at disadvantage.
And you also want perception from my familiar searching?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Quote, so your familiars, are they still keeping an eye on the area, or are they searching for the party members?
2 are searching for party members. The last is staying with Lee.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll. I will allow it. They're just a straight. They're not disadvantage.
Okay. I'm gonna roll for all three of them together.
Okay. So, Louis,
Yes.
you are hearing some soft scratching sound inside the bushes in the general area of where the party went, or your party members possibly are. You're peering through. You do see some faint light. It's kind of distant, or it looks distant with how the vines are and everything. You don't see anything other than just kind of like they're just like little strips of kind of this neon fluorescent looking glow. So it really could be anything. But in that general area, there's some screeching going on as if like claws on vines. But you also hear kind of several rustles coming from behind to your south behind you. Very kind of faint in the way they are, but you can hear kind of like just a soft rustle of leaves as something kind of, something might be over there. It definitely sounds more than wind, but not by much. Morians, your two familiars that are searching for your companions don't see anything. It's just, there's a lot of, like, this area is heavily overgrown with shrubbery, and it continues for quite some time. And they're actually having a hard time up above them, as a lot of the vines have, like, from where you're at, they're like where you're at, the shrubberies are like 8 or 9 feet tall. But as you push, progress to the kind of the north area, a lot of that shrubbery expands out to your left and right quite a ways. At least 200 or 300 feet, if not more, a rough estimate. And they have all kind of started rising up, like kind of like a mound of earth is. Whereas all that kind of shrubbery kind of lift up and over some fairly massive area. And that continues back fairly well, 500, 600, 700 feet past about the line of sight of the butterflies, and they kind of like looks kind of like maybe a wall of shrubbery. But the one that's kind of floating around you or whatnot points in kind of a direction, and you get this kind of hint of possible danger from it.
I will touch Louis on the shoulder and let him know that there may be danger approaching from that direction.
I will sarcastically look at Morians and be like, "No shit, Sherlock," and then kind of shout into the general direction of that LED looking lights and be like, "Hey, I think we got company, guys."
Nulka and Flicker, go ahead and roll me perception, hearing based. Nulka, perception.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Perception. Normal?
Yep.
Boom.
Nulka, you hear kind of a faint voice from behind you. It's definitely, it's still like as you turn around, your eyes, this is kind of an area where you're at where like the fairy fire isn't. And so it's just all dark and your eyes are not adjusted. The lights were just, too much kind of thing. You're used to them. So you're not adjusted to the darkness. But you look over and it's just pure dark, but you do hear kind of like this very from
Do I recognize
kind
the
of a
tone
direction.
at all?
No, it's fairly muffled. It's fairly low, as if there's some distance between you. Like, think of somebody speaking through a wall.
Gotcha.
But you do get the sense of it's a voice. You get the sense that it's a voice. You're just not sure what voice it is. But it is coming from what you're fairly sure is the direction that you possibly came from.
Hey, Flicker.
Yep.
I think our buddies are looking for us. I'm sure they'll find us. You want to continue looking?
Yes. We'll be fine.
All right.
They'll find
They'll
us.
be here. Yeah, I'm sure they will.
So you guys are going to continue looking around this wall?
Yep.
Yeah. Like how? I can't tell how far this wall goes. Can I?
No, it's
Okay.
the fairy fire area is about a 20-foot 20-foot cube kind of thing. So roughly, 20 feet where you're at. You can go ahead and try and light a torch. Roll me survival if you want to. Yeah, you're able to get the torch lit.
All right. What do I see around me?
You see the same stuff that the fairy fire kind of showed you, but you see it kind of better clarity. You're in kind of this little pocket area where it's just like it's kind of open. You still have got like the vines and everything that are pressing on your back, but
Okay.
there's a kind of a slight gap between there and where the boat, the wall is.
Okay. Well, from now on, when traversing, I will favor the wall.
Okay.
To
Are you going
avoid as many vines as possible?
The orientation is if the voice is straight behind you, the one side of the wall kind of heads to the left of the voice. So it's hold on, drawing, there we go. So you're kind of here and Flicker's here with you.
Hold on.
There's kind of
Where are you drawing?
up above the map.
Okay.
The wall is the boat kind of wall is kind of like this, and the voice is coming from this general area.
Okay.
And there's a lot of vines kind of around you like so, and a tree chunk kind of like right there that you can see.
Can I draw or no?
You think you can? Yeah, it's the drawing tools.
I don't see them.
On the left-hand side, there's a little pencil-looking thing.
Oh, I don't have a pencil.
I don't think that he gets that.
I'll have to see if I can change that.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
That works. What are you doing?
but I'm walking that direction.
Okay.
That
All right.
Yeah.
So it's slow going again. Still, as you're making your way through, especially now that you're having one hand on with the torch.
Okay.
Flicker, what are you doing? Just gonna keep going that direction, or?
Yep. Pretty much.
Okay, so you're gonna follow him. Louis and Ronan.
I'm on him.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fair.
Well, if you ever want to change your mind or anything, feel free to say anything you need to.
Yep.
Can I send the familiar to investigate the weird light?
The familiar cannot get through the branches.
Stupid fucking butterflies.
The tiny familiar can't get to the branches.
No.
Well, that sucks. Okay.
But he can see the light.
I'm going to let Louis know where I'm going, and I'm going to start attempting to work my way through the branches towards that, using Sacred Flame to try and get through if necessary.
Okay. Ronan and Louis, go ahead and roll me perception. Okay. Louis, what are you doing?
I guess while Morians is going in to investigate, I'll kind of stand guard, watching turning around and watching behind me.
Okay.
Or I'll say like, hey, make sure you leave like a trail of breadcrumbs or something.
By the way, you don't see Silver anywhere.
He didn't.
Silver
I forgot he even
is supposed
existed.
to be able to talk. He's supposed to take care of himself.
He didn't walk over from when Morians and I walked over to the start of the shrubbery. Like,
no,
he
last that you saw him is he was patrolling kind of the outer area of where you guys were at, keeping an eye out.
Well, he's a good tracker. He can find us.
Okay, I must have been on mute then.
Yep.
He's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so. Alright. Yeah, I thought he was right next to us because I was on mute.
So are you turning your back to the shrubbery?
Yeah, so like, I guess if the shrubbery is like a doorway, I'll
Mhm.
stand in the doorway, looking outwards.
All right, so there's like a wall of shrubbery in front of you that's 200 or 300 feet wide. So if you're going to turn around away from the shrubbery and keep your back to it, then yeah. There is an arrow that hits near your foot.
I will yell even louder towards that LED-looking light that's like, we're being attacked.
There's another arrow that hits near your foot.
I'll take the
What do you mean?
buckler I have off my, like,
You
arm. And
roll perception. Okay, so you hear just a tss, 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 kind of up above you.
I look up.
You see the face of Silver up one of the trees. You're not entirely sure how he got up there, but he did get up there, and he does the motion of like the two fingers pointing to eyes, and then he points towards the ground a little further away from you, behind some of the bush area or whatnot, obviously indicating like something's there.
I guess I'll cautiously approach it, like focusing on it with my spear at the ready.
Okay. If you're doing it cautiously, are you trying to be sneaky?
Yeah, I'll try to be sneaky.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth then. What type of armor are you wearing?
He's naked.
I guess my character sheet says I have scale mail equipped, so I'm dressed in jingle bells pretty much.
Oh. Let's go.
I
nat
think
20.
that is disadvantage when you make stealth rolls then. Yes, disadvantage. Yep.
Yep.
Here's effects. Da-da-da. I know I was reading something that was somewhat useful about me being able to be extra sneaky.
What's your class?
I think you're right.
Or race?
So, yes, it's your Blessing of the Trickster.
Blessing of the Trickster.
So that would be a
Effects.
feature. If you go ahead and link it in chat.
It works on everything else but myself.
Can you use it on your chainmail?
Especially when a creature other than yourself to give it advantage on. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Does it have to be like a humanoid?
No, it's a willing creature other than yourself. The big thing is other than yourself.
Yeah, I guess the other thing I was thinking about was the spell Pass Without a Trace, but that would make the other thing sneaky as well.
No, Pass Without Trace is only things that you choose.
Oh. I will try and cast that on myself before sneaking up.
Pass Without Trace.
Yeah.
Do you have that currently selected?
It's blue in my spell book. I think that means that-
Always. Okay, so that means always prepared. Got
Yeah.
it. Motion summons radiates from you, making you and your companions for protection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a +10 bonus to stealth, dexterity checks and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that uses bonus leaves no track. Okay, so you can cast that. That uses one of your spell slots.
I guess I'll cast it.
Okay. So that's 30 feet of you. So that means that you get plus 10 bonus to stealth. So you still have disadvantage on your stealth check because of your armor. However, whatever value you get is plus 10.
Okay. I'll roll disadvantage.
Yep. Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. All right. So as you cast your spell, and a circle of silence envelops you, allowing you to hear a little more crisp. And you hear this nice, crisp snap as you step on a branch that's underneath your foot. And because of the silence all around you, it's just a very, very sharp, very attracting sound.
That was cool.
Jesus.
Oh, that's so funny.
Can I roll a one or something?
So you hear a very sharp rustle of fur as something or several somethings suddenly look up in your general direction. You still don't see anything. You just hear the rustle of fur, and the noises, like when I told you heard like the patter of something on leaves or whatnot, like those stop suddenly. Are you going to continue moving forward, or what are you doing?
Are any of the butterflies around me?
There's one following you.
So there's one above you.
And I've learned my lesson. This one is only like 2 feet away.
Okay.
I'm like
So
trying to track of the butterfly.
How far above his head are the butterflies? Or are they above his head?
They're not above his head. They're like 2 feet behind him.
2 feet behind
They're
him.
tiny,
Okay.
so they're tiny, so they can stay in his face.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But they just don't see anything. They can't see anything past the bush that's in front of him.
Okay. I'll stop moving, but I'll gesture at the butterflies, kind of like pointing at the bush where I hear the things that stopped moving.
Okay.
Also, are the arrows, are they coming from that bush?
No, the arrows were coming from Silver. As if he was trying to get your attention.
Okay. I'll have to note that to chuck something at his face sometime.
He's trying to save your life.
Morians, you were pushing while this was going on. You were pushing your way into the bush.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make me a survival check. You will make it at disadvantage.
I will fail it. You ready?
With that attitude, you will.
I have
All right.
a -1.
So you're pushing your way through. This is stuff that you are not prepared for. You've never done this kind of thing, and you're trying to get through and everything. You take a point.
Fuck.
You take a point of damage. On the outside, as you were looking through, you didn't really notice any of the barbs on the vines that are surrounding you, but you notice them now as they scrape and prickle and poke you. Are you going to continue moving through? You're about 5 feet in.
Yes, I actually have it. No, I'm going to. I just got a message from Louis, so I'm going to stop and crouch down and hide.
Okay.
Coward.
So you do get at that point as you're getting through and whatnot. You do get the message from the butterflies saying that Louis apparently wants them to move up and around. So they were planning on doing that unless you told them not to.
I'll send one of the other butterflies to do that.
Okay, I'm guessing they're up above the shrubs.
Yes.
All right, as they turn around, they see 3 wolves kind of on the other side of where Louis is at. So Louis is saying, like, Louis' statue still where he snapped the branch underneath his foot. And the wolves, they're like looking in the direction, like they're perked and ready to like attack. But they are on the other side of the bush, staring in the general direction of where Louis is at. Their ears are perked up. Their tail is straight back.
I'm gonna have the butterflies who are coming up attack the wolves from behind. And by attack, I mean body slam, because I don't think.
So they're not. They wouldn't be behind. They would be in front of the wolves because they're behind Louis.
No, the other one, because I didn't want. I was sending one of the ones which was with me over to Louis because I didn't want to separate the butterflies that was watching him.
Yeah.
So,
but they were above the bush. They were up above the 9-foot mark because they were looking for the other members. And so when you gave them that order, they kind of floated around to face towards where Louis was to start moving in that direction, and that's where they saw the wolves. So they're up above your head.
They have a 60-foot fly speed. Can they get... I want them to distract the wolves.
Yes. If they have a 60-foot fly speed, then yes, they could.
All right. They make a daring attack against the wolves.
All right. That hits.
Wait, no, that's my stealth skill check. The butterfly's got a natural 1.
Oh. Why'd you roll? Oh, for your stealth. Got it. I see.
I accidentally rolled both at once because I had both opens and it apparently rolled it. It would have dealt 1 damage had it hit, so really the worst that can happen is for the wolves to not notice at all.
Okay, well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for the wolves not to notice, but they're definitely interested in the direction that the butterflies just came from.
Excellent. All right. Just for reference, this particular swarm of butterflies has an AC of 13 and 1 hit point, so...
The wolves aren't paying the butterflies any attention.
I just have to try again.
Okay, so we're going to try this for encounters. Is that... Who said that? Is that Morians?
Those Lewis. I don't know why
Lewis?
it's in on Morians.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because he is right above you. He said BRB. He's the man of the hour. He's got to roll his check. I'll have to figure out how to do this. Okay, that's encounter 1. All right, so encounter 1. So if I put this over here, and I do right click, roll. Oh, nice. Okay. So that puts them into there. Nice. Ah, neat. Okay. Was that Louis?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Okay, so click your character icon, and then right click on them, and on the bottom right corner there is a shield and 2 swords. Nice. So now in the bar on the right, there is a fist icon next to the chat log. You should see your icon and your name, and there's a D20 next to that. Click. Yep, there we go. I would like Nilka and Flicker to also do the same thing. You guys aren't anywhere near where they're at, so you're not going to be in the combat. But
we're just rolling for.
Yeah, we're rolling to keep you guys in there and whatnot.
What am I rolling?
So
wait a minute. God damn
it. Right-click your character token. On the bottom right corner. No, you did it right, Flicker. On the bottom right corner, there is a shield and 2 swords. That's your combat stance. Click that.
There we go.
Are we still not allowed to see what it is?
All right.
This will show you.
I rolled privately by accident.
Oh no, that's not. Unless it shows it over here. This is something you can see. Go to the right. On the right-hand bar where the chat log is, next to that is a fist. If you click that, you'll see a list of the people. Next to your name. No, you already did that. Bane. Next to your name, there's a D20. Click the D20. And Flicker, in that window, you should also see your initiative.
Yes.
Okay.
I rolled blind roll.
Oh, that's fine.
By accident.
It's the same. It's the same as what's in the chat log, as in the fist.
I figured.
Bane, did you figure it out?
You said there's a D20?
Yeah, so on the I wonder if I can share my screen while we're doing this so I can show stuff when we're doing things.
Wait, he's on the stream.
Oh, he's on stream. Yeah. So on stream, if you look over here, you have your chat log where you've got most of your stuff. Next to that is a fist. Click the fist.
Oh, you're okay. You're fucking things in the way. Your camera.
Oh.
All right, there we go.
There, nice. Okay, now I do begin combat. All right, Morians, what do you do? Here, let me orient. Kind of put everybody. Morians is here in the shrubbery. Ronan is here. Nulka and Flicker are like up here. Ignore all the walls and everything like that. There we go. Okay. Morians, what do you do?
Check DMs when you get a chance, Cure.
DMs. 10-minute warning for you? That's fine.
I'm going to stealthily advance. So they don't seem to see me yet, I don't think.
No, they don't see. So you can get the rough assumption that they can't see anything. They don't see Louis. They don't see you other than the butterflies that are next to them. And you're also, remember, you're 5 feet into the shrubs. It would take you multiple rounds to get out of the shrubs.
I am going to go ahead and start. Actually, I'm not even going. No, I can cast certain spells through my familiar, so I'm going to actually just stay hidden.
Okay.
I'll take the dodge action.
Okay.
I think this butterfly is going to. I think my butterfly is next in the initiative. I'm going to attack the wolf.
Okay. Go ahead. Yes,
The
that
attack deals
hits.
1 damage if it hits. All right.
Okay.
Here, let me roll this quick. 1 damage. And it is then going to fly away at full speed.
All right. Are you trying to deceive it in a direction?
Sort of down and to the left of where the humanoids are hiding.
Okay. So you're trying to use the butterflies to get the wolves to lead off into one direction.
Yes, I'm hoping that they will pursue the butterflies.
Go ahead and roll me deception.
For me or for the butterflies?
For the butterflies.
Ooh, okay. They have they're not proficient in deception for some reason. Okay.
So yeah, they're not proficient, so that's it's a straight D20.
Plus their charisma.
Okay.
To be fair, I'm not sure that they actually have a high enough intelligence to know that I'm telling them to deceive.
Well, what I'm using it as a general, like, are the wolves interested in them?
Oh, you want you just want a luck check then?
No, it's I'm using it as deception. But you did attack, so you do get advantage, so you can roll again.
Okay.
All right. So no, the wolves, they look in the direction the butterflies are going, and one of them will bound off towards that. They can move 60 feet. The butterflies can move 60.
Yes.
Wolves can only move 40. So he doesn't quite catch up, but the other two kind of like, they look at the butterfly and they look back in the direction they heard the snap, and they advance forward, but they advance into the brush. So they're being cautious.
Do they take thorn damage? Those little assholes.
No, they're not. This is different shrubbery than the ones you guys are in.
Gotcha.
Lewis, what do you do? You hear kind of a rustle. It sounds like there's something moving through the bush, trying to be fairly stealthy, but they're not like doing a great job of it. So there's still some rustling.
I can clearly tell there's something in the bush in front of me.
Yes. You did see butterflies shoot over your head and onto the other side of the brush, and then they disappeared.
And everyone else is kind of deep in the brush already.
Yes.
Well, let's see. Can't see them yet, but I know they're there. So I guess I'll take a step forward so I can stab the bush.
Okay.
Or the rustling in the bush.
Okay. You could make an attack. It would be at disadvantage for your attack if you'd like to do so.
That's just because I can't see.
Yes. Yep. You're not. You know there's something there, but you're just not exactly sure where it's at. So it's like Battleship. You're making a guess of where you're throwing your attack at, and you're just going to lunge forward with it, kind of thing.
Let's see, just checking. Yep, I'll do that attack with disadvantage.
Okay.
How is that? What would I roll for that?
So if you go to your character sheet, you should see your spear.
Inventory. Yep.
And there should be like an attack roll next to it. So if you click, I think it's the dice.
Oh,
yeah.
I
So
kept on clicking the dice.
So the little icon next to it, if you scroll over it, it becomes a dice, and if you click that, so it looks like you did it. Okay. In there, yeah, there we go. Nice. You do miss.
Okay.
But you're doing that, so okay. The rustling stops.
Do I hear any of this at all?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
It's super quiet that even if you rolled perception, you wouldn't be able to hear any of it.
I got that 30-foot cone of silence or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially that too. Flicker Tree, what are you doing?
Same thing as before.
Okay.
I'm still riding on Nolka's shell.
Okay. Nolka, what are you doing?
Well, I'm oblivious to what's going on.
Unfortunately,
I'm gonna go attack the wolf. I'm just kidding. Because I have insight. I'm kidding.
Leroy Turtle.
Yeah, hold on. I accidentally pulverized my friend. I'm so sorry. Can we mend it back together? I'm just gonna continue.
Okay.
Looking for a way on or in this thing at all, because like there's pieces missing. So I would. Okay, when I'm looking at the side of this boat, they look. Does the side look exactly like the pieces we found earlier?
Yep.
Okay, well then I will continue walking around the direction I was going to see if I can find like a missing hole or anything like that. I'm paying closer attention to like if there's pieces missing above me, because obviously I will definitely see the pieces missing in front of me. So far what you guys are seeing, you and Flicker both, so far this section is fairly intact. Definitely some rotten areas and whatnot, but it's still is fairly intact. It doesn't. So the very first piece that you saw had some rotten spots, but it was fairly intact. The second piece if I push
was fairly
on it, does
rotten.
it give?
There is some give, but nothing like it's spongy. You know how when you touch wet wood? Have you ever touched wet wood?
Yes, I actually did 2 days ago. When
yeah, so you know how there's kind of a spongy. It gives a sponge. There's a slight give to it. That's kind of what you feel.
Okay.
All right.
What did you want me to do?
Flicker, this wall is soft. Do you want to continue looking for a hole, or do you want to, I don't know, make one?
Make one. I mean, we can make one.
All right.
The bars of iron that run across this wood, are they along this side of the boat as well?
Yes. Yep.
How far do they run across the rot, and how spaced out are these iron?
So the what you assume it looks to be probably the section, which a lot of this section of the boat seems to have been dug into the ground. The portion above that you can see, you have one metal rod running across it, because this portion kind of out, and it's kind of like the whole boat's kind of tilted at a slant, as if like the front of the boat was dug into the ground.
Okay, so it's tilted nose first.
It's there's a slight tilt to it, as if the front had been buried. So you only see one strip of that wood as the other stuff kind of goes down in there.
Okay.
But with that, we will end today's session, since it is that time.
It is that time.
It is that time.
When we get back, I got a spell for this shit.
Nice.
I'm gonna spike growth this fucking hole.
Leave yourself a note, so you remember.
Cool. I like the multiple scenarios that are kind of going on right now. It's pretty cool.
Everyone left me.
Y'all, if you track back, y'all are the ones that left that first board first. One went east, one went west. So, you know, Who left who? We're just in the thick of it. Get it? It's brush.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Also, have a good one, Brian. It's nice to see you.
You as well. Hold on a
Louis.
second. I gotta pull up my calendar.
So just so you know, you're using a spear. The spear has what's called versatile. And what that means is you are using the spear one-handed. Or you can choose to use the spear two-handed, in which case you increase damage. So it goes from 1d6 to 1d8 instead. And you can do that by in the box where it says spear, it says attack, damage, and versatile. If you click versatile, it'll bring up a window with all that extra, allowing you to do a normal attack with that. So it's just something to consider if you know you're like, hey, I want to use my spear in both hands and do a little more damage.
Yeah. I guess I'm currently using the spear in both hands since I have nothing else in my other hand.
Yeah.
So I guess I would roll the attack, and then when it does, when choosing damage, then I would pick the damage or versatile.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so your attack roll would be exactly the same. It's just your damage changes.
Okay.
Anyways, that is good. Good sesh, everybody. Sorry it took us a little later to get started. I will remember that everybody actually comes on time next time.
All right. Until next time.
Until next time. Have a
Be
good
gone,
night,
guys.
gents.
Have a good
Chat,
night.
we're out of here. Have a good night, chat. /host. Lord Tixter.
Be right back.
Boop.
There you go.